What happens after we die? It's one of the biggest questions we humans have ever asked, right? Well, in this explainer, we're going to dive into the answer offered by the Islamic faith. It's a really detailed vision of the soul's journey, and it shapes the lives of millions of people all over the world. So let's just start with this one core idea. What if death isn't actually the end of the story? What if it's not a final full stop, but it's just a passage, a transition into the next stage of our existence? You see, in the Islamic worldview, the answer to that question is a huge yes. Death is absolutely understood as a transition. It's not the end of the book, it's just the end of a chapter, and it leads right into the next stage of the soul's journey. And this is where we see a really crucial distinction being made between the body and the soul. Our physical body, that's seen as a kind of temporary vessel. It does its job and then it returns to the earth. But the soul, the actual essence of who you are, that's believed to be eternal. It just keeps right on going. So this whole journey of the soul, it's all building up to one single monumental event, a day. And the timing is only known to God when every single human being who has ever lived will be resurrected, brought back to life for a final accounting. And this incredible event, it has a name, the Day of Resurrection. In Arabic, Yawm al-Qiyamah. It's understood as this moment of ultimate, perfect justice, but also infinite mercy, both at the same time. Okay, so let's get the term right. It's pronounced Yawm al-Qiyamah. This day represents the moment when everything becomes crystal clear. It's a time of total accountability, for sure, but also of ultimate compassion. And the scale of this day, it's cosmic. The heavens themselves will change. The earth will literally reveal all of its secrets. Every hidden truth, every quiet action, it all comes to light. The central promise here is that nothing, absolutely nothing, is ever lost or forgotten. And look, this belief isn't just an idea, it's anchored firmly in Scripture. This verse from the Qur'an, for example, it states it so clearly. The promise is that God will resurrect those who are in the graves. For believers, this isn't just a possibility. It is a guaranteed reality. But, this question about an afterlife, it's not just in one faith. It is a deeply human concern. So let's kind of zoom out for a second and see how this idea shows up across different world religions. And it's fascinating because when you look across different faiths, you see these incredible echoes. In some Jewish traditions and in core Christian beliefs, you also have this teaching of a resurrection and a final day of judgment. In Zoroastrianism, you see this idea of a final renewal of the world. Now, on the other hand, in Eastern traditions, like Hinduism and Buddhism, the focus is more on a cycle of reincarnation, birth and death and rebirth, with the ultimate goal of breaking free from that cycle. And it doesn't stop with the major world religions. All around the globe, countless indigenous and traditional faiths hold very similar core ideas: that the soul lasts, that it continues on in some other realm or on another plane after the body is gone. This is truly a shared human contemplation. Okay, so we've covered the what and even the where. But now we get to the really big question: why? Why does this all matter? How does believing in an afterlife actually change a person's day-to-day life, their entire moral compass? Well, this belief, it provides a really powerful framework for living a moral life. It all starts with moral responsibility, the knowledge that every single thing you do, even in private, will be reviewed. That leads to a deep trust in justice, that no wrong will ultimately go unanswered, and that in turn gives you incredible hope and motivation, because you know that even the smallest good deeds have immense value. It fosters patience and hardship, because you see life's difficulties as temporary tests. And finally, it allows for forgiveness, because you can trust that ultimate justice is in God's hands. And it goes even deeper than just a moral framework. This belief connects with something we all feel inside. That powerful, innate desire for our lives to mean something. That feeling that we don't want to just disappear. The idea of an eternal soul on an endless journey speaks right to that feeling. And this is a really, really important point. While there's an element of accountability, for believers, it's not just about being afraid of punishment. It's so much more about it being a source of deep hope, the hope and the meaning that comes from knowing this life is just one part of a much bigger eternal journey. So, wow. We've gone on quite a journey here, haven't we? From the separation of the body and soul all the way to the day of resurrection, and seeing how this one belief can provide a whole moral compass for life. Which brings us, really, to one final eternal question about our own place in all this. And that question is this. Do you believe there will be a day when all of humanity is called to account for its journey? It's a huge question, and one that's worth sitting with. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.